From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Well, you made it. It's great to have you here. Whether you are listening to us in Lhasa or Labrador, Lithuania or Louisiana, it's great to have you here joining the Badass Counseling Show. I am your host, Sven Erlandson, and I am joined by my co-hosts and very dear friends, KC. KC, are you there? KC, are you there?
I am. I'm here.
You are not in the booth today.
I just couldn't find the button.
Casey, you are aware that when you are in the booth, your job is literally the buttons, as in pushing Rob's and mine. And yet, even when you are remote, you are pushing our buttons, Casey.
Well, I wasn't in the booth. I'm out of the booth, and the buttons down here are all different. So,
and yet, you still find a way to push our buttons, metaphorically speaking. Good to have you here, Casey. Thanks. And Rob, the Rocket, how you doing, my man?
I found the button. It's right here.
You did?
Yeah, I got it. Hey, Sven, after you do all the work, let's say, or you do a lot of work and you're feeling pretty good, and yet you still have insecurities and you wonder if you're lovable. You think I'm lovable?
Do I think you're lovable?
Yeah, that's my question today.
Rob.
Here we go.
All right. Not that I want to touch you in your privates or anything
Please
like that. I think you're one of the sweetest guys I've ever met, Rob. Okay. And I think not just because of do I respect you because of your egregiously successful career in the film industry and in the music industry, particularly TV and film, senior vice president, Paramount Pictures, etc. I mean, that was, and so many other things. But just as a person, Rob's one of the most decent men and honest men, innately honest, I've ever met in my life. So do I think you're a lovable guy? Yeah, but not because you're a success. It's just who you are. And it's funny because my girlfriend and I were having dinner tonight, and we were actually talking about you and your girlfriend. And she said, do you think Rob cooks for her? Cooks for her? And I said, oh, yeah. And I'm sure she cooks with him, and she's probably the sous chef.
That's right.
You guys don't know, Rob is one hell of a cook. So, yes, I think you are definitely lovable, if for no other reason than your cooking, Rob.
Okay, I wasn't fishing for that, but it sure did help. Thank you, bud.
Well, it's great to have Rob here, KC here, and our guest. Rob, would you tell us about Roddy?
Absolutely, Sven. Roddy wrote in and said, I shut off my emotions when I was young because feeling things was dangerous. I didn't learn love as safety. I learned love as a risk. I spent my whole life acting like I'm fine while everything inside me is overloaded. People think I pull away because I don't care. The truth is the opposite. My own load gets too heavy and I end up failing the people I care about most. I have no room. I don't reach out. I don't ask for help. I go silent. And by the time they realize something's wrong, I've already convinced myself I'm a disappointment they're better off without. I fear love and I fear success. I desire love above all else, yet love feels like a setup for loss. Success feels like a setup for humiliation. So I sabotage both. I push away the good to avoid the pain I expect will follow. It's pathetic and it's predictable, and I hate that I can't seem to stop it. I want to change how I respond to the people and opportunities that actually matter. I want to relearn how to show up with presence instead of panic. I want to stop being the reason good things die in my life. In a single sentence, I need someone with toughness who won't let me dodge the truth.
Roddy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sven. Thanks.
Thanks for coming on. I got to be very honest with you, Roddy. It didn't hit me when I was initially reading your write-up, but as Rob was reading it to me now, it really struck me. For a guy, you are profoundly articulate in terms of what's going on inside of you. You normally don't get that from a guy, and our guests can't see it, but I can see it, and you are at least over 40, if not over 50. And so that tells me there's something going on here. How the hell did you get the ability for a guy who had to shut off emotions when he was young because feeling things were dangerous? How did you get such so adept at expressing what's going on inside of you?
I think I spent so much time, I guess, in and out of people that it all became too much. And after my divorce, I about 10 years ago, I sort of, I guess I left the world and went into my own and just spent a lot of time with myself, sitting by a fire and in places unknown, I suppose, and just digging into myself and sat with myself, because I guess I've found that no matter what happens, I'm always losing people. So I'm like, it can't be everybody else. I'm the common denominator. So I've dug in and
understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And that's impressive that you did dig in. And but to actually come up with words and find words for it and express what's going on inside of you so well is, and I mean that very sincerely, is actually quite remarkable. It's interesting as you talk about that digging in, and I was the common denominator and all of that. I found that interesting. In one of your sentences, you said, "So I sabotage both. I push away the good to avoid the pain I expect will follow." Now listen to this sentence. "It's pathetic and it's predictable, and I hate that I can't seem to stop." Literally 3 times in one sentence, you find a way to beat yourself up. It's pathetic, predictable, and I hate that I can't seem to stop. You have a gift for beating yourself up, it sounds like.
I think so. Yeah.
And where were you taught that skill? Where were you taught? Who taught you how to beat up Roddy?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure on that bit.
Really? Wait a minute, Daddy-O. Wait a minute. So you opened by saying, "I shut off my emotions when I was young because feeling things was dangerous. I didn't learn love as safety. I learned that as risk. Feeling things was dangerous. I shut off when you were young." That tells me if expressing, to express means to push out. If expressing feelings wasn't safe, that tells me that out there, outside of myself, where I would say these things and express them, it wasn't safe. In other words, there were enemy armies encamped right outside my mouth, basically, that would attack. Otherwise, if we're safe, if there was a loving presence outside of your mouth, in other words, in earshot, you would not feel safe. Or excuse me, if there were a loving presence, you would feel safe. If there were an enemy armies, so to speak, critics, those who would undermine you, question you, make you feel bad about what you felt, then of course you're going to keep it in because it wasn't safe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So who were the enemies? Enemy armies encamped outside of your body, outside of you, such that you didn't feel safe?
I guess my family, really, to start. Like that.
And when we talk about family, your family, who really was your biggest enemy? Who is the biggest critic? Who is the one that did the most damage? At least not the only one, but the one at the top of the list. Who are we really talking about, Roddy?
My mother.
Your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and I guess my father, my stepfather, but it all started long before he came. So I guess it was, Mum.
Okay. And just so I can have a feel, so we can have a feel for what you're talking about, give me examples of how it got conveyed to that little boy at a young age that it was not safe. How were those enemy armies attacking that little boy?
I don't know how to say this without it being...
without it being what? Wait, pause right there. Pause. No, hold on. Pause right there. You don't know how to say it without it being what? Finish that sentence.
Out there.
But out there is in shit, I don't want to say it, or out there is in wacky?
I guess it's probably easier just to say it.
Nope. I want to know the answer to this question.
Okay, the things that I seen when I was young that I couldn't do anything about, and I tried to.
Okay, give me an example.
Not sure if
what you're allowed to say any goddamn thing you want on this show.
Okay, so when I witnessed my mother and my auntie both be raped, and I was very young, maybe 2 years old around that time when I was in that house.
So they were
And
your mom and your auntie were raped in your house by.
A group of four men came. They were not, like, one was my auntie's partner, and the other two were friends of his. And we lived with my auntie and
Okay.
her partner.
Okay.
And they came home early one morning. I was playing with Legos on the floor, and they sort of they came into the house all rowdy, drunk, and things went down. And I tried to protect my mum from. I tried to get in and help the two men, not help them, but help my mother. And there was screaming, and it was all I could hear banging, and and I was screaming. I remember hitting and trying to do something, and then he was the younger one of the four men. He grabbed me and picked me up and carried me outside, and closed the door, and I couldn't get back in, and I could hear everything going on, and I just, I guess from then I felt really helpless, and that's, that feeling of helplessness, I guess, was I'm not sure, I really don't know whether that's been the driving force in this thing within myself to just, I guess, be strong and, yeah.
Okay. And I cannot even imagine what that was like for a child at that age. Cannot even imagine just the massive fear, the massive frustration, helplessness, as you said. How much that imprinted, that here you are roughly 50 years later and you can remember it plain as day, as if it were yesterday. And you say you were approximately how old?
I know I had my second birthday in that house. I'm pretty sure that this was prior to that, but it is kind of one of my earliest memories. Yeah.
So
it's
under 2. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now the question originally was, who were the enemies outside your mouth, outside your body, that you didn't feel comfortable sharing your feelings with? Okay. And then you said your family, and I said, who's at the top of the list? You said mother. And then I said, well, give me some examples. And you tell this story where mom, in the story, at least so far, mom is a victim and not an enemy doing harm to you yet. Now, either there's more to the story or there are other stories, because we still haven't seen how mom is an enemy to you. So either expand the story or add to it, or what is it that made you think of that story when I was asking for examples for how mom basically made you feel unsafe emotionally?
I guess as I grew, I would speak more, and she put a lot of, I guess, pressure on me to be the man and protect her, and et cetera, and but she'd also, like, she would blame me for her life. Like, if I didn't come around, if I wasn't born, that her life would have been better.
Oh,
that she could have.
Go ahead. Sorry.
That she could have been a different person if I wasn't born. And she could have succeeded and had more, I don't know, a better life.
And what are you feeling right now? I believe I heard your voice sort of crack a bit there. What are you feeling right now, Roddy? Be honest.
I guess it's a mix of everything. It's pain, it's resentment, I don't understand how that's my fault. Yeah.
Okay. So some confusion, some pain, some resentment. Do you have children of your own, Roddy?
I do.
And how old are your children?
18, 16, and 9.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, when your children were young, I'm just going to randomly pick your 16-year-old, And when your 16-year-old was young, or let's pick the first one, the 18-year-old. And when the 18-year-old was born, you no doubt had to make adjustments, as every parent does when the first child is born. And you made adjustments and so forth. And let's say you had to make certain adjustments with regard to your life or your career or what have you. What was the biggest adjustment you had to make when your 18-year-old was born?
Responsibility.
Okay, responsibility.
I had
And
to be more not more responsibility, but my responsibility switched from myself to my child.
Sure, right. And it would be easy for some parents to resent that child for that. I've had clients, many clients over the decades who say, well, it's your fault you were born, or I had an exciting life plan, and then the day I found out I was pregnant with you, you ruined my life, or I was planning to go to school and then I had to stay home with my family because I was a single mother, or you know what, I had plans for my career and then I found out I was a dad, and so I've, whatever. But let me ask you, when your 18-year-old was born, was your 18-year-old responsible for you having to become sort of orienting your life's responsibilities to that child? Was your 18-year-old responsible for that?
I don't think so, no.
No, of course not. Your 18-year-old had nothing to do with it. Right.
Yeah.
You and the mother chose to have a child. You are, of course.
Yeah.
Right. And so your mother saying to you, blaming you for her life, and if you hadn't been born, gee, I would have been happy. Gee, I would have had a different life. Her blaming you it's just dumb. It's asinine. It literally makes no sense.
Right.
Right. And so when you say you're confused and so forth, of course you are.
Yeah.
Because the child just wants to be loved by the parent. The child just wants love and kindness. And here's my mother, this person I love more than anyone on earth. And this person who should be loving me is being so mean to me. I don't understand. What did I do? What did I do? And the truth is, you didn't do a goddamn thing, did you? Of course not. There is nothing you could do, nothing a child could do to be unlovable. And so either the child is bad, innately bad, unlovable, or the parent was unloving. So just out of curiosity, which was it?
The parent was unloving.
And just so we're clear, who are we talking about?
My mother.
So I need to hear you say it. My mother was unloving.
My mother was unloving.
And is that good parenting or bad parenting?
Nah, it's piss poor.
Thank you. Exactly. And you say
piss poor.
It's piss poor. Absolutely correct. And when you say you feel pain over that, I can hear it in your voice. And when you say you feel resentment, what do you feel the most resentment for? What is top of the list resentment for?
Taking that innocent boy away from me. And I've spent my entire life trying to find that boy, but also shutting everybody out because that.
Shutting everybody out. What do you mean?
I guess I've shut down. I've shut down over time. I've shut down my emotions so that I don't feel that anymore. I mean, I feel emotions, and but
they never come out. And as you said here, people think I pull away because I don't care. The truth is the opposite. It's just that my own load. You've got a 500-pound bag of rocks on your back from a lifetime of pain, from your childhood alone. If she was doing that shit, in your childhood, you had a 500-pound bag of rocks on your back by the time you were fucking 10.
Yeah.
And you've been carrying that your whole life. And my own load gets too heavy, as you said, and I end up failing the people I care about most. I have no room. I don't reach out. I don't ask for help. I go silent. And by the time they realize something's wrong, I've already convinced myself I'm a disappointment. They're better off without me. No. And of course, you're not a disappointment. They're not better off without you. It's just what happened was she said, oh, be strong. And you would speak up and mom would say, be a man and be the protector. I'm curious, who were you expected to be the protector of?
Her.
Her?
her
Oh, good Lord.
and my sisters when they were born, and all these things continued throughout my childhood, and I became a parent very young
Oh, no
to my
shit.
sisters. And
You're a fucking
yeah.
child, and you're supposed to be the protector. No, she's the parent. She's literally your parent. She had, compared to that little child, she had infinite power. Infinitely more than any child. You had zero power. And so she puts that on you. You should be the protector. And the single defining story of your childhood is that you could not protect her when you were 1.5 or 1 3/4 or just before your second birthday, when she and your auntie were being raped. She put a burden on you either before that or retroactively, be my protector. And you already have that story in you of feeling helpless that you couldn't protect mommy. Put those two things together, and before you're even out of the motherfucking starting gate of life, you have a 500-pound bag of shame, emasculation, neutering, before you're even out of the fucking diapers. Telling a child to be the protector of a grown-ass woman? What the actual fuck is that? And then, and she blamed you for her life? You became her shit stick.
Yep.
It's beyond, I mean, I understand why you feel pain and resentment. For me, from where I'm sitting, it's beyond resentment. It's fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
It's rape of a child. It's the rape of your spirit by your own mother. What the fuck? Okay, so let me just ask you this. Go ahead, please.
I guess that's where that resentment thing is, because I did become that person, and I spent most of my life creating this, I guess, a beast that everybody could count on, and then, but in that, I've become so disconnected from those feelings. I don't want to hurt people, but fuck, I'll protect. I don't, but it's stemmed into this thing where I've, throughout my relationships, etc., over my life, I've always find these women in my life that need to be protected. They've come out of bad relationships, etc., or they're, stuck with this abusive person that keeps coming in and in and in. And I guess only recently I've come to realize that that's something that, like, I dwelled on that. I didn't realize it was kind of me reliving that thing, trying to make myself feel like I could have protected when I couldn't. But it's caused me, like, the person I am, not I am, the person I've become, or to protect that is
Absolutely. You nailed it. I mean, that's exactly it. You've been reliving that trauma, trying to save whoever you can, because internally you were taught from a very young age that you failed in your one job to be the protector as a 1.5 or 2-year-old, which is just asinine, ludicrous. It's absolutely insane that would have been dumped on you.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this short break.
I had a really good start in my life, and I've been successful in my career, but I have to say I've learned so much and improved my outlook on life since I met Sven and picked up a copy of Badass Wisdom. With the daily meditations as journaling prompts, I've uncovered a lot of memories that weren't totally pleasant. With Sven's guidance, I've achieved some new understanding, and honestly, I feel lighter. Badass Wisdom is a great read, in nice small bites, and I think anyone can benefit from it. So go to badasscounseling.com and get the book or the audiobook. It could change your life.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
We are back with Roddy. Roddy, have you ever in your life hated yourself?
Yes.
Do you hate yourself presently, if you were to be totally honest? Be honest.
Yeah, to a degree.
Okay, give me a percentage.
Big-
What percent do you
I would
hate yourself?
say, probably maybe 70%, but it's on the decline.
70%, but on the decline. That's a fair answer. And what age or ages were you when you hated yourself most?
Oh,
That's a juicy one.
probably teens into my mid to late 20s, I suppose.
And what percent did you hate yourself from your teens to your late 20s?
Probably it'd be close to 100. Obviously not complete 100%, but 95.
Fair enough. We'll say 95 to 100. Fair enough. And and how old are you now, Roddy?
48.
48. All right. And then what's the very earliest you recall hating yourself at all?
In that moment, when I was that
Approximately 2 years
then.
old.
Yep. I felt weak and pathetic and just like I thought men should be better than that. No, I wasn't a man, but.
And so let me ask you this. Am I off then to have the notion that I have to get in there and I'm weak and I'm pathetic? It's almost as though the notion of you as protector and that burden happened before that incident.
Yeah, I think so.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I remember, so my mother, she hid me from my real father because he was abusive and violent.
Mm-hmm.
So she removed us and hid me from him. And probably one of my earliest memories at my grandparents' house where we lived prior to the other one. My father coming around and I was out on the balcony and he was calling out to me and stuff. My mother wasn't. Oh, she was there, sorry, but she didn't come out. My uncle came out. He was only a teenager at the time too. And he stood at the top of the stairs and stopped my father from coming up the stairs. My father wasn't aggressive in any way at that point. So then, and I do remember Mum sort of telling me that I was her little man and that, she would tell me that I had to sort of be the man and I remember those little things.
Oh, yeah. You're the little...
And
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do understand, like I do have this, I guess I kind of defended her in a way because I understand now as an adult when I got older and I processed her information and why I've gone that way. But because of the life and my father, all that sort of stuff, I kind of get. She was just trying to mold me into a good man, I guess, sorry, excuse me. But that, I guess that's kind of, I don't know. But
Okay. So you've tried as an adult, you've tried to understand better her and sort of how she came out that way. Am I hearing you correctly?
I guess so, yeah, through my own self-development. And,
okay, just for the record, almost as if to say because of her past, you can understand how she sort of did what she did to you. Am I hearing you correctly, or is that not accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Just for the record, I have had clients over the last 30 plus years, clients as old as 70, even in their 80s. I've had clients who were, back when I was a hospital chaplain, who were literally in the very earliest days, World War I veterans, believe it or not. Very, very old, but World War I veterans back in the early 90s. Okay. And, but a lot of World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, and so forth. Anyway, I've had a lot of really old people. And what's fascinating, and I have plenty of people even today, old, young, and a lot of my clients, as you can probably imagine, either had really shitty childhoods or had parents who had really shitty childhoods. And I've had friends and so forth over the years who have had shitty childhoods or parents who had really shitty childhoods. But you know what's fascinating? With regard to what you were just saying, trying to understand, what was done to me by sort of understanding the shit mom went through as a child. So many of the people who had a shitty childhood, who had bad parents, became really fucking good parents themselves.
Yeah.
They took classes. They read books. They talked to old, wise people. They just committed to, at the very least, bare minimum, doing the opposite of what their parents did. Not always the best technique, but a hell of a lot better than what their parents did. In other words, saying that, well, the old man, he had it shitty, so I can understand why he beat the hell out of me, or my mom had such a rough childhood and so on and so forth, so I guess I'll let her off the hook. It's fucking bullshit. There are so many people who had terrible childhoods who end up being great parents. So one does not excuse the other. A does not equal B. So it's so easy to let the parent off the hook because they had it bad. But no, there are plenty with bad childhoods who ends up being fantastic parents. All right. So that's that. But I want to go back to your earliest memory of her saying, you're her little man. And then her going on to say many times, be the man. And you got to be the protector. Be the man. You got to be the protector. And then in that seminal moment, you couldn't protect her. And so you're feeling shame your entire life. But that's quite a burden to place on a child, to be the man. And on one hand, it sounds cute and everything. And like, gee, we're teaching a child. No, because what you're telling a child is don't be what you are. And what the child is actually a fucking child. A child has zero capacity to be a man. Furthermore, as we're seeing now, you've been a great protector, but at the expense of yourself. You said in your own words that she took away that innocent boy from you.
Yeah.
She took away that innocent boy. That you had your childhood stripped from you at the very youngest of ages. And as a result, the child is taught that who I am, every time the child doesn't protect, every time the child is a disappointment, every time the child has feelings of his own, the implicit message is don't be who you are. Don't have your feelings. Be who I want you to be. And if you have any sort of feelings of your own, you're a fucking disappointment or whatever. And so we know that you have hated yourself as early as 2 years old. She taught a 2-year-old to hate himself. As early as 2 years old. And by the time your teens are roaring, you are roaring with 95% self-hatred well into your 20s, to the point where you are now 48 years old, and you still hate yourself 70%. Thanks, Mom. That's fucked up. Yeah. That's hardcore fucked up. So I have to ask the money question. And for me, the money question is, do you hate your mom?
Yeah.
Interesting. There was a long pause there, which is fine. And yet, it's sort of a, yeah, okay. What percent do you hate your mom? Just, as long as we're on it. Be honest. Can be low, can be high. Just can't be.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if
Just be honest. That's all I ask.
Yeah. I guess, maybe maybe because
Because you've what? Finish that sentence.
I've cut her and the rest of my family out of life in the last couple of years. So I've not because I want to hate anybody or I just can't do it anymore.
Because in one sentence or less, the reason you have cut her out is what?
She's damaging.
Okay, even still. All right. And so what percent do you hate your mom?
That actually feels really hard to say when I think about it like that. But
and
probably
what's the hardest part?
90%.
Okay, but what's the hardest part about it? Why is it hard to say? It's okay that it's hard. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I guess because at the end of the day, she's my mother and I love her.
I'm not saying you can't love her. Just out of curiosity, in different women that you have loved, that you mentioned earlier, or in the years that you had a teenager, but especially the different women you loved, have you ever had those instances where maybe you've been in a disagreement with your lover, or maybe a buddy of yours, where you love your buddy or you love your wife or your lover, but you're in a disagreement. You just it's like I want to wring your neck. Where you love them and you hate them. Or have you ever had those times where you're happy and you're sad at the same time? Tears of joy. Have you ever had a situation where you've had mixed feelings?
Yeah,
sure, of course, it's human.
Yeah.
So what you're acknowledging then is it's possible to have two feelings, even opposite feelings, at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Right. And so in this case, we're talking about your mom. I don't doubt that you love your mom. In fact, I would offer that somewhere deep, deep, deep down inside, that little boy is still longing for the approval of his mother to undo the damage that she caused when you were 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 22 years old. Right. But you said it's hard to say, and not in, gee, I can't figure it out, but hard to say because she's my mother. Which means, that seems to imply, what, you feel guilty saying it? Is that it? Or why is it because she's my mother?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, I feel guilty. Like, I guess, I don't know, the society says that, we gotta, I guess that, that's the, like, okay, over in relationships and things like that. Like some people have said, like if a man just despises or isn't nice to his mother, that he's not a good man, I guess. Like, yeah.
No, it does. You're absolutely right. And not just a son to his mother, a son to his father, a daughter to her mother. If you disparage a parent, you're bad. You're a bad child. You're ungrateful.
Yeah.
You ungrateful little shit, that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the truth is that is completely arbitrary. It's completely arbitrary. I look at it quite simply as this. Why? Why does someone owe anyone anything? Now, normally people say, well, they brought you into this world. Yeah, they chose that. Well, they fed you and they clothed you and they put a roof over your head. They would have put a fucking roof over the head and food on the table, whether I was born or not. What, they weren't going to eat? What, they weren't going to fucking have a roof? Bullshit. They would have done that if I was there or not. And the clothes, the roof, the food, they had to do that. They didn't do that for me. They did it to keep themselves out of fucking jail because protective services would have came and hauled them in if they didn't do it. So don't act like you did me any fucking favors. That's bullshit. Okay, furthermore, the way it sounds like, though, if society says, well, as your parent and you shouldn't, if you believe that, you want to cut her out of your fucking life. Even you don't believe that. Now, it's one thing to cut it out of your life, cut her out of your life, but it's another thing to say it out loud. That, I fucking hate her. And the simple fact of the matter is, society says that a man shouldn't speak well of his mom. Yeah, society always says, don't fucking abuse your children. Society also says, don't be a fucking asshole to a small child. What the fuck? What kind of fucking disgusting ass parenting was that? Is the greater obligation an adult child, a 48-year-old man, to his aging mother? Is the greater obligation of a mother to her fucking 2-year-old child. I don't think there's much of a question there. She not only hurt a child at a very young age, it sounds like it never fucking stopped. Has she ever atoned for anything she did?
No.
And so I have to ask, and everybody answers this question differently. Which for you is worse? Well, first of all, let me ask you this. Does she think she was a good mother?
Yes.
Oh, which tans your hide more? Which burns your butt more? That she was a horrible mother or that she actually thinks she was a good mother?
I think that I don't know. I think
There's
that she
no right or wrong answer.
thinks, yeah. I think it's like she thinks that she is, but it's all a show. I've watched, it's
Right.
not,
And
it's fake.
That's right. It's fake. And what it does is it denies the reality of the child himself. It's her completely protecting herself, her image, her fakery. She's a phony. She's protecting herself and putting on this fucking image when you know the truth, which is why she's terrified of you. You have all the power. She's terrified of your truth because your truth completely exposes her. Even if you never say it to anyone, she's terrified of the fact that you hold the truth of what she really was. And her entire identity, or a large part of it, is shaped around the fact of how great a mother she was, but you know the fucking truth. And just as an aside, did she treat your siblings better than you?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, well, then that's even worse because that conveys she knew how to do better.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And she chose not to with you.
Yeah, they were girls, my siblings.
Right. Doesn't mean shit. She chose not to with you. She would turn on the kindness and love for one child, for two children, and turn it off for the other ones. But, okay, so we've established then that it burns your butt more that she thinks she's a great parent when she wasn't. Now let me ask you this. Which makes you more angry, that she was a terrible parent, awful parent, or that she's never done anything to atone for it?
But she's never done anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's never heard me. Or when even like my sisters, and I've tried to speak, but they're exactly the same. It's all about these. They're like, sorry, mum is like, I went through shit. Like it's always, there's no sorry, there's no fuck, I shouldn't have put you in that situation. And she took me out of that situation and put me in the exact same situation again.
That's exactly right.
And the exact same situation happened again, and I got thrown away, and then and it's continued my entire fucking life, and everybody else gets treated different, and I'm just this little savior boy to fucking. It's not okay.
It's fucking disgusting. She conditioned you to be the little savior boy rather than to be this wonderful boy who's worth loving, who is 100% lovable, who is 100% good. She conditioned you to believe that you were shit. She taught you that bullshit. It's like, yeah, thanks for getting me away from dad, but then you threw me out of the frying pan into the fire. Go fuck yourself very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is your sisters have to buy into mom's load of shit because you are a threat to the entire family. Your truth is a threat to the entire fucking family because it dethrones mom.
Yeah.
And the really fucked up part is that she taught a child to hate himself.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. There is literally no excuse, especially when she's raising two other children for the entirety of their lives. I don't give a shit what their fucking gender was. She's raising two other children for the entirety of their lives with love.
Yeah.
She knew how to do better. She was doing better every single fucking day, and she would turn to you and do shit and blame you for her life's misery. This is beyond disgusting. You have every right to be sad. You have every right to feel pain. You have every right to hate. You have every right. And if you don't let that out by journaling or by talking to a therapist or by writing her letters that you do not send, if you do not, then it is you now who is silencing that little boy. And I won't let you do that because you have to protect him now. All of your efforts of protection have to be to him. And because he's coming to you saying, please, please, you're a man. I'm just a little boy. Please let my voice out. Please let me get my feelings out. And that 8-year-old behind him and the 18-year-old behind him, and it's just getting more and more packed inside that kid. And he's a hothead and he's crazy and he's doing all this wild shit, probably drinking, boozing with pot, whatever he's doing. And, you know, and maybe hurting people in his lifetime. He didn't know any better. He was conditioned to believe he was shit. But there was never anything wrong with you. There still isn't. You were taught a lie. Roddy, there was never anything wrong with you. You were a good boy. You were conditioned to believe that you were shit. And it was bullshit. Blaming the child? What? Do you blame your children for your existence?
Fuck no.
Fuck no. So wait a minute. Just so we're clear, Roddy. So you had a shitty childhood and you don't take that childhood out on your kids?
No.
Oh,
No.
because you were saying before,
Fuck no.
Because you were saying before that because mom had a shitty childhood, oh, I understand why she took it out on me. I understand. Well, you just proved that that's bullshit. You don't do it. What a load of horse shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking hate her. Fuck that. And I got news for you. How old's your mom?
60, I think she's 63.
63. Fuck me in the ass. I'm 58. 63. Yeah. There were things called libraries and books. There were so many parenting books back then. Yeah. My parents were teaching parenting classes in the 70s, the 60s, and even the 50s, and even in small fucking towns. Fucking parenting classes existed. Parenting books existed. People say, oh, there were no manuals. Yes, they were. They were called books. Yeah. They were called old people in the community. Yes, there were manuals. It's just shit. And the mere fact that she parented your sisters better says she knew how to parent better. She didn't even need a book. She knew how, and she chose not to. She chose to torture a little boy. Chose. I want to bring KC and Rob into the conversation. Rob, KC, any thoughts?
First of all, like the shit that you have been through, I would think that the trauma that you experienced is akin to somebody experiencing war. Honestly, because of the age that you experienced this at, I mean, I think that you have a lot more trauma in you than you could possibly realize. I am a victim of rape, and I will tell you that for me, it would be worse. Just for me, not every rape victim, but for me, it would be worse to witness a rape of someone that I loved than to actually have been raped. Like for me to witness a sister, a mother being raped, I just, you have so much trauma in you that I hope, I don't know if you're seeing a counselor.
Or in a men's group.
I'm glad that you're seeing a counselor, and I hope that you're seeing somebody that specializes in trauma or rape trauma or, you know, some type of trauma that is experienced by children at an age that you were at, because those are the formative years, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. And the things that you witness are just horrendous. And the responsibility that you felt and are still obviously feeling for those things are so natural and normal. My heart breaks for you. And you are my hero because you are a kind, sensitive person. After experiencing all of that and watching it, I just can't imagine. And the metamorphosis that I watched you go through just in the last hour talking to Sven, you know, in the beginning of the conversation, making excuses for her, saying things like, I don't want to be a hater, or I don't want to hate. I don't want to be this person that's viewed as a hater. You get permission in life sometimes to fucking hate and let that hate out. It doesn't mean it's going to consume you. It doesn't make you
Right.
a hater. It just makes you somebody that is allowing your feelings of hate, which are natural, to come to the surface, come out of you, and then just go through you, and you're experiencing them. Um, it's just, I think it would just be so healing for you to just allow those feelings to come and not shame yourself for having them. You deserve to have them. Sven knows the story with my mother and I would not allow I loved my parents and I had good parents. Okay. I didn't go through anything like what you went through. Um, but every parent fucks up, and I could tell you the
Yeah.
horrendous stories of my parents fucking up, and I never wanted to see that. And, Sven kept just trying to bring it out in me. And finally, I had those epiphanies of the things that my parents did to me. And I hated my mother for like 3 fucking years. I just hated on her.
And she had been dead for 25 years.
Yeah,
20.
she died in 2001, and these epiphanies just started maybe like 10 years ago. And I hated her for a good long time until I didn't anymore, and it was just out of me,
Mhm.
and then I came to some understanding of her. But just give yourself permission to have those
Yeah.
feelings. I did have a question for you in your story. I just wanted to understand one thing.
Yeah.
Um, your sisters are the children of the man that allowed those people to rape your mother?
No,
Okay,
no, no.
so give us explain to me the trajectory of the different men. Like, are all of you from your father? You and your
No,
sisters?
no. My father, he was out of the picture like before
Okay,
when I was born. He came back later in life, and but those men were just friends of my auntie's partner that we lived with. Um, yeah, and then I had a stepfather that came in later on in down the track. But yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And I
And
like,
he's sorry, yeah, my stepfather is that's my sister's father.
okay.
right. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Gotcha. I like your analogy there, KC. One of the things that happens in a child when they're growing up in a home that is high trauma or where they're getting a lot of shit dumped on them, as Roddy had. There's that initial high trauma event, and then all the messaging that goes along with it. Not just the trauma, the fear, the helplessness, the pain, the sadness, the rage, all of it packed in there. But then the messaging, well, you're my little man. You got to be the man. You're the protector. What a terrible message to give to a child who's innately helpless, impossible, can't fulfill that duty. Okay. But with all that stuff going on around you, especially with that one traumatic event, your life was a war zone. And there was you fully admit, I did not learn love as safety. Love was risk. You state, I fear love. I fear success. You want them, but there's just so much. Would it be a reasonable statement to say that you grew up, or would this not quite be accurate? And feel free to tweak it. I don't mind being wrong. That you grew up in fear.
Okay.
Okay, right. And when you grow up in fear, you don't feel it's safe. You're always afraid of what bad thing can happen next. And as a result, you can
Yeah.
never relax. And that goes right up till today, I'm willing to imagine.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so what has to happen? The beauty of what you did, Roddy, now in recent life is you took those 10 years to be by yourself and to think and so on and so forth. The piece that's missing, in addition to the therapy that you mentioned to KC, is it with the therapy, but also on your own, is this stuff has to come out. These feelings have to come out. And we've just jarred loose one of the big ones, giving yourself permission to admit the hate. And hate is usually the one that people say, well, I'm not a hater and I feel guilty and so forth. There is no guilt. It's just a natural feeling. Feelings are harmless. They're morally neutral. Now, if I feel, rage alone is neutral. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, if I go punch someone in the face because I feel rage, well, now it does take on a moral character. Now it is wrong. The feeling itself isn't how I act on it. But the feelings, those are natural responses. You put anybody in that situation. If somebody treated one of your children the way your mom treated you, it is reasonable to assume you would feel astronomical rage, would you not?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Right. Well, somebody did put a child in that. It's just that the child was you. So now what you have to do is you have to go back and you have to set that child free that was you. And the only way you do that is to begin opening up the vault that child had to stuff all of his feelings into. And you can accelerate, you can fast forward your healing process that you're doing in addition to therapy. I mean, a men's group is great, but even faster than anything, it's just getting a fucking journal.
I do journal, yeah.
You do. And are you getting into the fucking feelings? And also the real feelings, the deep shit, like, gee, I don't want to talk, I don't want to hate anyone, and so forth, and just letting everything out, but also writing letters to mom that you don't send and to your sisters, and also digging down into, the beliefs that you were taught about yourself. Do you get into that deeper shit?
I guess I'm still trying to find my way into that. Yeah, I can't. I think, I focus on my own behavior and how, like, my response to those things, because that I see it, that's my responsibility, not finding
Okay, and see, that's you focusing on I'm bad. Gee, I'm a fucking disappointment. Gee, I'm a fucking pathetic. I'm predictable, and I hate myself. That's you focusing on how bad you are. Okay,
I think the person that I've created has made it shit for me.
You didn't create that person. That person got created when you were 1 3/4, when you were 2 years old. That conditioning, and you think, well, I should have changed it. Really? Really? You imprint a fucking child, and they're fucking imprinted. Have you read my book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup? Yes or no?
Not yet.
Okay, that's fine. One of the stories I tell is how they used to train circus elephants back in the 1800s, early 1900s. Are you familiar with that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used
kind
to.
of. Yeah.
Right. The way they'd train them was, when they were born, they'd put a shackle around its rear leg, attach a 6-foot chain to it, and then at the end of that chain was a spike, like a 3-foot long spike they'd drive into the ground. That little elephant would tug and tug and tug and tug and tug and tug and tug 1,000 times. Eventually, it would give up because it realized, I can't tug, I can't get away from this chain, and it just accepted it as its fate. This intelligent beast, mini beast, realized, this is my fate, I'm stuck. Chain strong, me weak. Then, what was fascinating, as that little beast grew into a calf and a big beast and a really big beast, they'd attach that shackle when they'd move to the next town, or when they were trying to transport the elephants, whatever. And they'd take that 6-foot chain. Maybe they'd put a 2-footer or a 1-foot spike into the ground. The elephant could easily pull out a 3-footer, let alone a 2 or a 1-footer. Elephant wouldn't even try. Why? Because it knew, I can't pull out that spike. That spike's strong, me weak. Even though it's ludicrous, he could have easily done that. You could have told that elephant, if it spoke English, even if it spoke Australian, you could tell it. You can easily pull that spike out. Elephant would say, you're dumb. That stake's strong, me weak. You didn't create anything. You were conditioned to believe it. And if you continue to teach a child, they're to blame, they're bad, they're a disappointment. You're the protector. You're not protecting me. You're bad. You're responsible for everyone. You're bad. You're a disappointment. You didn't create shit. You were created into what you have become. You could no sooner overcome your own fucking programming than you could fucking reroute the route of the sun by yourself. Come on. So now you can, but the only way you do it is by getting out all the shit. The pain you were taught to believe about yourself, and the beliefs you were taught to believe about yourself, and that pain. So you got to start writing those letters and doing that fucking journaling. Roddy, any final questions for us?
I don't think so.
What are you giggling? What are you giggling about, motherfucker?
I think it's just a lot to take in right now.
It is. Dude, do yourself a favor. Read the fucking book. Go ahead. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, no, I think it just clicked that I've taken responsibility for even though it's my actions, and I felt like I had to take that responsibility for my response to things. But I think, yeah, what you just said, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Roddy, you've been so focused. You're so good at. And the first thing I said to you was you are so good at beating yourself up. You have a gift for it. Congratulations on that. Except you were taught that shit. You were taught to beat yourself up. Now, and you know what? Just take that gift that you have and just put it on a shelf, and you can come back to it. Okay, you can go back to beating yourself up if you want to. But how about if you just took a month of assigning origins where they actually belong? A mother taught a child to hate himself. Who's really to blame in that story? And all the time she reinforced that message. All the time she blamed you for her existence, her misery. All the time she called you a bad protector. All the time she loved your sisters and didn't give love to you. Why don't we take care of that? Then you can go back to hating yourself. I'm not going to take away your self-hatred. You want to hate yourself? Go for it, motherfucker. But you're protecting her at the expense of you. It's so easy to keep hating yourself because you don't want to touch the real fucking truth.
Right.
Yeah, you can go back to hating yourself. Go for it, bad guy. Go for it. After you just spread all of it out to where it actually needs to be assessed. Then go back to hating yourself.
You can hate your mom now and still come back to loving her later.
If you want to. That's what KC did.
If you want to. You don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. You don't have to throw out loving her for the rest of your life. You can just say,
put it on hold.
What? I'm going to put it on hold right now while I allow myself the rage I deserve.
That's right.
For this woman allowing me to be traumatized and go through all that stuff and never apologizing for it.
That's right.
Never apologizing for the fact that she put you in situations and herself in situations where you were allowed to be traumatized and experience trauma. If she wanted to put herself in those positions, that was her business, but she had no business putting you in harm's way.
Her job was to be the protector.
That's right. Not your job.
Not your job. Not your job. So you have to get it out, brother. Get the book. There's a hole in my love cup. If for any reason you have trouble getting over there in Australia, just reach out to my team on the website and we'll see if we can get you. But it'll walk you right through that process. Roddy, you've just been a peach. You've been great to have on the show.
We also have a free group on Facebook that you could join and write some of those letters to us anonymously, and no one will know it's you. And we have
the Badass Counseling group on Facebook.
And we
right.
And we have Community Plus, which is a subscription-based smaller group that you could also join
on the website. But
I have looked at that too.
Great. Start with Love Cup. Roddy, you've just been great, and we're blessed to have had you on the show. It's just it's great to see men diving into their shit and not afraid of it. And you've been great. I mean it very sincerely. I'm grateful that you've come on the show. So thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Roddy, over to Rob. Rob, any closing thoughts?
Robbie, when a child is forced to be a premature adult, they've got it unbelievably hard. It's unbelievably rough. In this case, is certainly an extreme one, but I'm really hopeful for Roddy because I think he's one of the most eloquent people we've ever had on the show about his feelings. Particularly, it's a guy, man or woman. He's got it under control, I think.
See what I'm talking about, brother? Exactly. Rob said it. Well, on behalf of my team, thank you so much, Roddy, for coming on to the show. It's been fantastic. Please keep in touch with us here. On behalf of my team and Roddy, we say thank you to everyone listening in around the world. Great to have you here. Have a kick-ass day. Slay your demons.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.